The Amazon rainforest, or Amazonia, is a moist, broadleaf tropical rainforest covering most of the Amazon basin. If you look at the map of South America, you'll notice that almost 60% of the forest is contained within Brazil. Besides that, Peru and Colombia also contain a significant percentage of the magnificent rainforest. The Amazon represents over half of the planet's remaining forests. It is home to the largest and the most diverse tract of tropical rainforest around the globe, with approximately 390 billion individual trees belonging to more than 16,000 species. The Amazon rainforest isn't only inhabited by plants and animals. Around 30 million people belonging to 350 different ethnic groups also live here. In total, the forest covers an area of 5,500,000 square kilometers. Because of its incredible size, there are still many parts of the forest that remain unexplored, and many secrets that remain undiscovered. Some thought this was a strange kind of fungus, but closer inspection made it seem highly unlikely. But investigating these bulbs further revealed something interesting. These alien protuberances were being eaten by caterpillars, but even more confusing was the fact that the caterpillars weren't the only ones there. Numerous ants were surrounding these caterpillars, feeding on the yellow bulbs. Because the ants were not attacking or harming the fragile butterfly larvae, scientists assumed there had to be some sort of symbiotic relationship between the two groups. This kind of coordination between ants and caterpillars had never been seen before. The mutualistic relationship is now called myrmecophily and has awed scientists for a long time. Caterpillars belonging to the Lacinidae family have a special structure called the dorsal nectary organ that secretes sugar and amino acids. This sweet nectar is what keeps the ants around. Researchers revealed that the dam created thousands of forest islands that are lush but too small to sustain species and support thriving ecosystems. The Balbina Dam created one of the largest reservoirs in South America that stretches for almost 100 kilometers to the north. Because it's a relatively mountainous part of the basin, more than 3,500 islands have formed from the reservoir here. This has turned the ridges and hills of the region to become island forest patches. It's no secret that one of the key reasons behind the ongoing biodiversity crisis is habitat loss and fragmentation of the remaining forest area. Hydroelectric dams like the Balbina are one of the primary ways humans are disturbing these habitats. The new landscape that emerged after the creation of this dam shows that it rips the forest. Glass frogs. Also called the see-through frogs, this unique frog species is named this way because of its translucent skin. There are actually 60 different known types of glass frogs that mostly inhabit Central and South America. They prefer to live in the tropical rainforests, usually high up in the treetops above water. Many species of glass frogs are considered endangered because of habitat loss. Their size usually depends on the species. The smaller ones can grow up to 0.78 inches long, while the larger species can reach up to 3 inches in length. The body of a glass frog is usually bright green or olive, sometimes covered with black, white, or bluish spots. The belly of the frogs has translucent skin through which all of its internal organs are visible. The liver, heart, and intestines can be easily seen when the glass frog is looked at from underneath. Bones in some species are green or white in color. Biologists think that this specific skin type represents a method of camouflaging that protects the frog from predators, especially when they're abandoned villages. Researchers discovered 25 villages that were abandoned a long time ago while exploring what is now called the state of Acre in western Brazil. These villages date back to between 1300 and 1700 AD. A team of scientists used a helicopter-mounted LiDAR or light detection and ranging technology to see what lies beneath the rainforest foliage and get a big picture view of the structures in that area. Besides the circular communities, they also discovered 11 more villages constructed in rectangular patterns and 15 that were so old and destroyed that getting a sense of their layout wasn't possible. The archaeologists found between 3 and 32 mounds, ranging in height from less than 10 feet to more than 65 feet. They still don't know what purpose these mounds serve. They could have been houses or burial places. Humpback whale. Marine biologists and zoologists in Brazil were left stunned when a huge dead humpback whale was discovered in the Amazon jungle, just near the mouth of the Amazon River. According to the local authorities, finding a whale in the region was rare during the season it was discovered. The whale weighed around 10 tons and was a whopping 8 meters long, but some officials estimated the size to be slightly larger, saying it was approximately 11 meters long. A team from the Municipal Secretariat of Health, Sanitation and Environment revealed that the carcass had no visible injuries. Experts think the whale was either launched inland by a powerful tide or it died at sea and was carried to land by people. The conservation group explained that the whale hadn't fully matured. It was not an adult animal because when humpback whales are fully matured, they can weigh about 40 tons and grow up to be the size of a bus. Men of the Hole. Men of the Hole is a title given to an indigenous man who, according to the reports of a non-profit organization called Survival International, has survived in isolation in the Amazon rainforest for about 26 years. He lived in the Brazilian state called Rondônia. He was the last living member of an uncontacted Amazon tribe. According to most reports, he was about 60 years old at the time of his death. He was given the moniker for his habit of digging deep holes in the ground to trap animals or hide in. His body was discovered by an official from Brazil's indigenous protection agency called FUNAI. It was inside a hammock hanging outside his hut made of straw. There was no signs of struggle or violence indicating that he died a natural death. His entire tribe had been killed in a series of vicious attacks that started in the 1970s and carried on for many decades. The attackers were mostly cattle ranchers who wanted to expand their land. Cryptozoologists think that the mapinguari is either a mylodontid or a megalonychid from the Ice Age that inhabited this region. Some stories say that the creature has a gaping mouth on its abdomen. The name mapinguari is a contraption of three Tupi-Guarani words that put together mean a thing that has a bent or crooked foot or claw. The mapinguari supposedly has one eye, long claws, caiman skin, and backward feet. Some sightings describe it as a quick and agile nocturnal animal that feeds on vegetation like bacaba and babasu palms. There is no evidence to prove its existence, but the locals strongly believe it is real. There is also a mapinguari statue installed in the Parque Ambiental Chico Mendes located in Rio Branco, Brazil. Number 3. This tribe is considered highly endangered because of the conflicts with logging interests in the territory controlled by them. They mainly survive in the forests in the form of nomadic groups of a few dozen people with little or no contact with the outside world. The forests they depended on and were living in were being destroyed by logging and land clearance for farming, and their people were being killed by settlers. The loan was conditioned with the protection of the lands and people of certain indigenous tribes, including the Awa. If it wasn't for the government intervention, the tribe and its culture would have gone extinct long ago. It wasn't until 2003 that the Awa's land was finally demarcated. However, this didn't stop the invaders and loggers who kept encroaching on their territory and murdering their tribesmen. Number 10. Once bitten, the pain will last between 5 and 24 hours, with symptoms like waves of excruciating pain, temporary paralysis, and shaking in the poisoned area. Fortunately, the pain of a bullet ant sting causes a local reaction and the venom doesn't spread to the vital organs or other body parts. In Schmidt, the sting of this venomous ant causes pure, intense, and brilliant pain. It's almost like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. The bullet ant can grow up to 1.5 inches in length, and only a few of them can kill an adult human being. It's also called the bullet ant because, according to some of its victims, the sting of this ant is equal to being shot. It would be wrong to call it Amazon's most lethal insect. According to entomologist Dr. Justin Schmidt, the sting of this venomous ant causes pure, intense, and brilliant pain. It's almost like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. Once bitten, the pain will last between 5 and 24 hours, with symptoms like waves of excruciating pain, temporary paralysis, and shaking in the poisoned area. Fortunately, the pain of a bullet ant sting causes a local reaction and the venom doesn't spread to the vital organs or other body parts.